It's coffee time, it's coffee time, it's the One Pot Chef drinking coffee and time. That's the crappiest intro ever. Welcome to Coffee Time, the monthly chat show here on the OnePotChefBlog, where I answer questions sent in by you. Now, before we get started, this is Coffee Time number 12, which means we've been doing this for exactly 1 year. So, happy first anniversary to Coffee Time, and it's so nice to know there are so many people out there who are very easily amused. Okay, so on with the normal script. If you've got any questions that you would like me to answer in the next edition of Coffee Time, just simply leave them in the comments section below on this YouTube video. Anyway, let's get started. Okay, first things first, I'm just trying to open up my thingamajig. Here we go. First question comes from Winnie Gansha, I think that's how it's pronounced. What did you want to be when you were growing up? What did I want to be when I was growing up? I don't really know, to be honest. I think when I was a kid, I always liked the idea of sort of working in a shop, and so I ended up working in many shops for many years. So, shopkeeper, I guess. What kind of music do you listen to? I listen to all sorts of kind of music. I don't listen to a lot of modern music these days because, frankly, it's all crap. I'm turning into an old man. But I love sort of disco, 70s, 80s, trashy 90s pop. Love it. Have you ever tasted finished chocolate? If not, would you like to? I'd be glad to send you some. I can't honestly say I've tried finished chocolate. Sounds interesting. If it's chocolate, I'll try it. So, yeah, if you'd like to send me some, please feel free. My postal address is on my channel page, so feel free to load me up with some finished chocolate. It should be interesting to try that. Where's my next question? From Darlene211. Do you love Chinese food? If yes, what do you choose if you go to a Chinese restaurant? I love Chinese food, and if I could live on it, I would. Well, I suppose Chinese people live on it, but I don't think I could afford to buy Chinese food every day. I don't know. I get all sorts of different things. Different times. I obviously like sweet and sour pork, honey king prawns, lemon chicken is very nice. I don't know, there's all sorts of different things. Mongolian lamb, love Mongolian lamb. I think of it as like this sort of beautiful, tender Chinese stew. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, Mongolian stew, I guess. Fried rice, all sorts of different things. I love it all. Michelle Job Art. I keep meaning to find out if that's the correct pronunciation. Perhaps you can tell me in the comments next time. How are your book sales going? I love them both so much. Doing very well, actually. Been selling a lot through iTunes. A lot of people have been buying the ebooks on iTunes, so keeping a roof over my head, so that's a good sign. But yeah, it seems to be going very well, and I'm currently working on a new cookbook, so hopefully that should be out in a couple of months' time, and see how else it goes from there. So yeah, not long to go. Pearly Pop. If it was possible for you to achieve any 3 things in life, what would they be? Good grief. Going for the deep and meaningful. I don't know. I'd love to travel more. That would be one thing I'd like to achieve, is I'd love to do a lot of international travelling. Unfortunately, I don't see that being on the agenda anytime soon. I'd love to go to somewhere like Machu Picchu, because it's just like be standing on top of the world. It would be absolutely glorious to see. I don't know what else I'd like to do. I'd like to achieve financial security. I think most people would like to be able to sort of know that they're sort of safe as houses and everything's sort of covered, so that'd be another one. And just generally have decent health. I know my health is pretty awful these days, but I suppose it could be worse, so I'd like to sort of make sure I don't deteriorate any further than I already have. Let's put it that way. Pearly Pop again. Okay. What kind of viewers would you really appreciate? For example, the ones that always comment, the ones that comment once in a while but leave meaningful words, etc. I appreciate all my viewers. I've never sort of been one of those people who expects everyone who watches my video to leave a comment. But when they do, I think that's fantastic. Unfortunately, I often get criticised because I don't respond to every single comment that comes in on all my videos, but unfortunately a lot of people don't appreciate just how many comments I get every day. I get anywhere between 500 and 1,000 comments every day, so if I was to sit there and respond to every single one, I'd never get any videos recorded. So these days I generally only respond to people asking questions like about recipes and things like that, or if they say something particularly funny. I do read every single comment that comes in. I just unfortunately don't have time to actually respond to every single one. But yeah, I appreciate all my viewers, and I recognise just how lucky I am to have so many people who like what I do and find some meaning in it, so that's good. Lemon Demon 08. This is going to be a really weird question. If you were only able to eat the same meal for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? I love your show. That would be my personal hell, being restricted to the same meal for the rest of my life. However, if I had to choose one, it would probably be my mother's thing that I can't remember what it actually is called. She used to call it a turkey pilaf, but it wasn't actually a pilaf. What it was she used to make this about once a year. It was always with a leftover turkey from Christmas. And what she'd do is she'd make a whole bunch of rice and cook it up, obviously, and let it go cold. And she'd put it in a wok with chopped up tomatoes and some juice, or she'd just use tinned tomatoes or something like that with the juice in it. And she would put in the turkey that was all shredded up and chopped up, and she would add in cheese, just grated cheese, and she'd cook it up, and it would become this sticky pink mess, and it looked horrible, but it was the most delicious thing ever. And I've sadly never been able to reproduce it, and now my mother's passed away, I can never ask her what she actually put into it, but that was roughly what she put in. She must have put other things into it as well, but it was absolutely glorious. So I suppose if I had to pick something that I could eat for the rest of my life, I'd probably eat that. That being said, if I did eat that for the rest of my life would be incredibly short, because I can't imagine it was very good for you. So, oh, Pearly Pop again. I'm pretty sure all your recipes are great, but what are the 3 recipes that you are really confident with, such as the ones that'll guarantee are begging for more, the ones that you think are super incredibly delicious and of which you'd make for special guests? I think the lemon cheesecake would have to be a go-to one instantly, because I think every single person that I've ever given a piece of that lemon cheesecake to has always just absolutely fallen apart and loved it and wanted more. And I've taken it to parties where people have gone, oh, I don't really like cheesecake, but I'll try a little bit, and they're just, oh, nom, 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 and it's all gone in 5 seconds. So that's definitely one. My beef lasagna is one that again, similar thing where it never lasts, because when I make it, I don't make it very often because it takes hours and hours to put together sometimes when I do a really big, sort of massive one and put a lot of effort into it. But when I do that, yeah, it doesn't last because people just go absolutely apeshit for it. They'll eat it like crazy. I don't know. What else is there? Do I have to have 3? You're making me think too much. I don't know, but yeah, as I say, sort of like there are a couple there, sort of like that, sort of almost always had that sort of reaction, and yeah, definitely the lemon cheesecake and lasagna, and I don't know if I can think of a third one. Cakes by Chopper. Hello, Chopper, mate. What are 2 foods that you think shouldn't mix? For me, it's fruit and chicken. Oh, sometimes fruit and chicken goes well together. Apricot chicken, mango chicken. I don't know. I think for me it's Coca-Cola and chicken. If anyone's watched that on my cooking channel, one of my bloopers videos where I was testing out a recipe I found on the internet for Coca-Cola chicken, and it was absolutely vile. It just did not work. It was foul. So that would be the 2 ingredients that definitely don't mix. So yeah. Grashoni 1, am I pronouncing that right? Wasn't expecting to have my question answered in this one. Awesome. Anyway, for this one, which country do you think has the best chocolate? Oh, we've got a chocolate thing going at the moment. You're just trying to get me into trouble, aren't you? Because if I answer questions like that, it'll start a war. I don't know. I mean, there's so many different places that are famous for chocolate when you think like sort of Belgium and Switzerland and Germany and all sorts of other places. But then you've also got these new ones like Ecuador chocolate and Venezuelan chocolate with sort of the various cocoa beans and things. And I think they're all fantastic. I like Belgian chocolate. I don't think I've met a Belgian chocolate I didn't like. I don't know, there's heaps of them. I don't think I could choose. Mr. Butterworth24 asks, what are the biggest TV shows in Australia? Ooh, well, at the moment, we've got the Australian version of The Voice, which is apparently absolutely enormous. I don't watch it. I must admit I don't watch a lot of television these days. There's MasterChef as well, is another one that's very, very big, the Australian version of MasterChef. As for international stuff, I'm not really sure. I think that Revenge was very popular as well, that American show Revenge. Again, I haven't seen it. We've got the Australian version of The Amazing Race on at the moment that seems to be doing very well popular-wise. So, like, I actually watch that. I really enjoy that. It's trashy and wonderful. So, yeah, I hope that helps you out. Thunderhawk. Do you think it's important to dedicate my channel to one type of video such as just cooking, or would it be okay to also make other types of videos such as nutritional information videos? I want to start making 2 videos a week, one recipe and one discussing nutrition. Do you think that's a bad idea? Should I stick to one or the other? A couple of years ago, I would have actually said it's probably better to put 2 different subjects on 2 different channels. However, these days, it is so difficult to start up a new channel and to get seen and popular and what like that. I would say just chuck them both on the same channel. I mean, in your case, if you're looking to do sort of one cooking video a week and one about nutrition, they're kind of parallel, so they sort of work well on one channel on that one, I think. So I don't think you'll have too many problems. I think it'll probably be good on one channel, actually. I've seen some of your cooking videos and I think they're really very good. So should be interesting to see what you come up with the nutrition videos. So yeah, I say give it a go and see what works. Like the audience in the end will decide. Like if sort of you start doing nutrition videos and they're sort of going, don't like this, stick to cooking or whatever, you've got your answer. But then again, they might sort of go, oh, I really love this, drop the cooking. So you never know. It sort of all comes down to sort of how the audience reacts. So I say give it a go and see what happens. Henry Sems, or Kems. This is coffee time. What coffee do you like best, and is it a whole bean or ground? I like all sorts of different coffees. I'm not drinking coffee today because I've run out. I meant to go to the shops yesterday and buy some more coffee and I forgot. So I'm sitting here drinking my water at the moment, so I'll have to live with that. I don't know. I like all sorts of different kind of coffees. I mean, I get a lot of criticism because I like to drink instant coffee, but since I bought my little coffee machine, they got little pods that drop into it, and I get all sorts of different flavours and varieties and whatnot. But back in the days when I did have an actual proper coffee machine and stuff like that, and grinder and whatnot, I used to get all sorts of different kinds of coffee, the Arabica beans with flavours and stuff. There used to be an amazing one which was called Mudslide, which was like really strong coffee, but it had like a chocolate flavouring all through it, and it was gorgeous. And sadly they changed it and now it's nowhere near as nice as it used to be, so that would be my favourite. Oh, pardon me. We've had people doing wood fire burning sort of heaters in the neighbourhood, and so it permeates the house and it keeps making me cough at the back of my throat. It's terrible. Oh, Thunderhawk again. How much do you pay for your Blendtec blender? Is it everything you imagined it would be? Actually, I didn't pay for my Blendtec blender. The people from Blendtec contacted me via email and asked if I would be interested in getting a free one, so I could use it in the kitchen and things like that. Very generous people, actually, and they didn't sort of say, we'll send you a blender if you do a plug for us or feature it prominently in videos. In fact, they were actually quite specific and said no obligation to do anything with it, we just want to send you one. So that was very generous of them, and I love it. I think it's absolutely the most amazing blender I've ever had. It's virtually replaced my food processor, because I tested it out by making some breadcrumbs, and I put like 4 or 5 slices of bread into the blender, put the lid on, and I pressed the pulse button for about a second, and it was dust. It was just reduced to dust, and I was like going, oh my god, this is so cool. And I was like looking around the kitchen for things to destroy. I was like, oh, I want to put a wooden spoon in it or a brick just to see what happens. So it's a fantastic thing, and it like... I've made sort of dips in it, I've made smoothies in it. I haven't done this yet, but apparently you can actually use it to make bread dough and things like that. It's actually powerful enough to do that, which is truly astonishing. And it comes with a big book of recipes of all sorts of different things. So they are very expensive, but if it's the kind of thing you're going to be using on a regular basis, it's definitely worth considering. So they have a website, I think it's blendtec.com, so you're more than welcome to sort of go and check it out for yourself. But they were very generous to send that to me, so I was very happy with that. Thunderhawk again. What does your cooking experience background look like? Did you go to any type of culinary school, or is it all your cooking skills self-taught? I took a food class in high school, and that's the only food training I have. I've been experimenting and learning from YouTubers like yourself. And for the most part, I am starting to become a damn good cook, if I say so myself. Well, you are a damn good cook. Especially that cookie recipe I saw the other day on your channel. That was fantastic. Let's have a shufty. Well, I don't have any formal training like a culinary school or anything like that. I did do some food technology classes in high school, but that was very, very rudimentary stuff. That was very much just sort of how to make a cake, how to make biscuits. Like, it wasn't, or cookies or whatever. It wasn't anything terribly complicated, and to be honest, I wasn't terribly interested in it at the time. I worked as a short order chef in a cafe for about a year or so, so that's where I sort of learned how to sort of do shortcuts and do things kind of quick in the kitchen. But the majority of my cooking skills are either self-taught or come from my mother, who was an amazing cook. So, yeah, I don't think you need to have formal training unless you're looking to really do the fancy pants type stuff. If you're just looking to do normal everyday cooking at home, I think it's one of those things where it's just practice, practice, give it a go. So, yeah, I hope that answers the question. Some83. Do you get excited when Superfood Ideas or Recipes Plus magazine comes out like I do? I don't get anywhere near as excited about it than I was used to, because I used to absorb those magazines like the Bible. I love those magazines, but unfortunately, if you buy them for a long enough time, you discover that they actually repeat themselves a lot. So you know that every year they're going to have a Chinese food edition, and that'll have all pretty much the same Chinese recipes. And then you've got the Italian food edition, which has all pretty much the same sort of Italian recipes. And so they have a lot of repeats in there, and then sometimes they repeat themselves, sometimes once every couple of months. But I do get them occasionally if I'm sort of, when I'm in the shops, and I'll flick through it while I'm pushing the trolley around the supermarket, and I'll go, oh, that looks interesting, I might grab that and give that a go, or something like that. But I don't buy them very often these days. They're just... most of them I've already sort of seen 1,000 times, so like you don't really need to. So, but yeah, they are a fun magazine to get. I highly recommend them for anyone who's new to cooking and wants to get some ideas and inspiration for what to put on the table for dinner. Had a bit 22. Other than filming YouTube videos, what do you do for a living and for fun? This is it. Yeah, I make YouTube videos for a living. Mostly the cooking videos is what sort of keeps the lights on and food on the table. But yeah, I also write cookbooks. If you have not seen them before, that's sort of part of my job as well. So As for fun, who couldn't have more fun than this? Yeah, I must admit I don't have a lot of free time these days, but when I do, I like to sort of just hang out with friends and have a few drinks and movie nights and things like that. I'm very introverted these days. I'm very sort of internal. I don't really feel like going out night clubbing or anything anymore. I'm too old for that kind of crap. And I just rather sort of go around to a friend's house or have them come around to mine and have a nice dinner or whatever. We'll just go from there. And nice glass of wine, nice food, bit of bitching. It's fun. Bit of bitching. Natalie's1605. You said you use your bread maker to make jam. How does that work? Oh, yes, of course. I spoke of that in the last video. Yeah, the bread maker I had a jam making function, and essentially you put the chopped strawberries and some sugar into the bread bowl type thing inside it, and it has two little beaters on the bottom, and it's basically just stirring the strawberries and the sugar there while it's slowly heating at the same time. So you don't need to add any kind of pectin or thickening agent or anything like that, and because it does that, it basically makes strawberry jam or whatever fruit you added to it. Sticky bloody mess, but it wasn't bad. But I don't know if all bread makers do that or not. I think you have to have one that actually has the jam setting on it. Maggie12310. Boxers, briefs, or perhaps you wear ladies' panties. I'd like to think that we have a few little bits of mystery left for me, so I'm just going to decline that one. That being said, you left out G-strings, but not to suggest that I'm wearing them, but as I say, it's good to have an air of mystery. Jack Wilkins, Pepsi or Coke, which do you prefer? I'd probably say Coke. Mainly because everywhere I go, it's Coke, and the few times I had Pepsi, it always tasted weird compared to Coke. Like, it doesn't taste bad, but I prefer the taste of Coke, so that'd be that one. NWO Fighters. Can you make Dorito consomme? You will get tons of views. Search Dorito consomme on YouTube. It's on a channel called Chow. Oh, okay. I have never heard of Dorito consomme. That sounds really bizarre. I will actually go and explore that later on and see that. I've never heard of it. I can honestly say I've never heard of that. That's very strange. Sounds interesting. Mr. Malice Deus. Can you try to do your best American accent? Oh, shit. I get into trouble when I do an American accent because it's borderline racist. But my opinion on American accents is that they sort of emphasize the R in a word too much. And so it's all like, how are you? How are you? Would you like a glass of water? Water. Oh my god, every American's just going to burn pitchforks everywhere chasing me down the street. With their pitchforks. Oh, dearie me. What are we up to anyway? 23 minutes, good god. Fly Lady 13, I hope you're not from America. You may have switched off. Several questions. Okay, number one, have you been recognised in real life? Several times, actually. Yeah, quite a few times. It's usually when I'm at the shops, like doing shopping or something, and I'll have someone come and go, are you the One Pot Chef? It's like, yeah. It's like, oh, cool. I remember, I don't know if I've told you the story or not before, but I had this lady come up to me in the fruit section at the supermarket once, and she was looking at me, and I'm there going, oh, I think she recognised me. And she came and she goes, are you the One Pot Chef? I'm going, yeah. She goes, oh, I prefer Nico. And then she walked off! I was like, you bitch! I was like, who does that? It's like, I'm very sorry, I'm not Nico! What was the next question you had? What are the changes in the partnership program that you mentioned? Basically, I think it's the majority of people on YouTube can now monetize their videos so they can put ads on there and make money. But if you go to youtube.com/partners and it'll have all the details on there. Number 3, what is your favourite app? Oh, goodness. I must admit I'm not using my iPad as much as I usually did. I used to use it every day, but ever since I started making more videos, I haven't got a lot of free time these days, so I never sort of sit down and do that. But I've been playing Words with Friends obsessively. I must admit I haven't played for about a week or so, I think now, so I've had a very busy week the last couple of weeks. So last couple of weeks, well, I've had the last couple of weeks have been exceedingly busy ever since I've changed the video format and whatnot. But yeah, I love that Words with Friends. I must admit I haven't played Draw Something for a while. I kind of got a little bored with it because you just get the same words over and over. I'm waiting for them to add a few more words to it. I don't know. I don't feel like that. Can you please put your coffee time episodes onto the iTunes as podcasts? I've had people ask this before, and there's 2 problems. One is I have no idea how to do that. And 2, I have so much trouble trying to get my ebooks onto iTunes. I couldn't imagine trying to do coffee time on a regular basis on iTunes. So, might just have to stick to YouTube for the moment. Do you drive? Yes. I've been driving since I was, 19, I think. So, keeps me busy. J was CEE? I don't know how to say that. What is the biggest cooking fail ever that has occurred in your kitchen, and what is your most embarrassing moment? Oh, goodness, I don't know. Probably beyond the sort of Coca-Cola chicken that I mentioned earlier. My recent one was when I was doing that chocolate mud cake video, and I was getting the cake off the baking tin and was trying to transfer it onto the plate, and it slipped in my hands and I broke the cake, and I was just holding it there and I was just like, oh no! And I was like, okay, it's alright, I could just shape it back into shape, and I'm there sort of putting it there and trying to fix it, and it was blatantly obvious that there was this giant crater halfway through the middle, and I thought, there's no way I can get away with this, and I'm there halfway through filming, and I thought, sod it, I'll just be honest, and I actually said in the video, look, had an accident and broke the cake in transferring it to the plate, but you know what? Chuck enough chocolate ganache on it, no one will bloody notice, and nobody did. It was a very nice cake. It didn't matter if it had a big, giant crack in the middle, so once it was all covered up in chocolate, everything was happy. As for embarrassing moment, I'm not very easily embarrassed, to be honest. I don't think I've done anything particularly stupid recently, so I'm not sure if I've got any embarrassing moments, so I don't know. Other people might differ on that opinion, but there. Tyndall Jake. Hey David, I'm 13 and I love your videos. Have you got any recommended products for my age for cooking? Thanks, hope you answer this. I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends what kind of cooking you like to do. If you're new to cooking, I would suggest you stick to the basic type stuff. You sort of like, if you're talking about kitchen equipment and things like that, there's always good to have a decent set of mixing bowls, good sturdy wooden spoons and things like that. As for actual like sort of cooking type stuff, things like non-stick trays for baking, big decent sized fry pan for the stove, any of those sort of things are always good. I guess it depends on sort of what kind of stuff you're looking to cook, I suppose. It's hard to describe, really. The Austin 17. Hey David, I was just wondering, does making more videos than normal increase your income? Hard to answer that one, to be honest, because like I've always been in the belief that it's not quantity that gets you success, it's quality. So like if you're making really good quality videos, if you're really putting a lot of effort into the production values and researching things and stuff like that, then you'll get a lot of sort of good stuff back. But I don't know if it's actually quantity as such. I've started making more videos recently, mainly because there seemed to be a lot of demand for it, and it's a lot more work making 3 cooking videos a week, but I must admit I am generally enjoying it. So it's just a matter of getting used to an entirely new routine where I'm filming a lot more and doing a lot more sort of behind the scenes work. So, yeah. Aldazita. Hey David, I love your videos. My question is, what do you think of Nico and do you follow his recipes? Love you both, you guys are great. Nico, oh, what a wanker. What a horrible, mean-spirited little prick. No. I love you, Nico. No, Nico is one of my best mates, actually. We don't actually see each other in person very often because we live about 5,000 miles apart, but we speak to each other quite regularly on Skype and on the phone and text messages. We talk like probably about 3 or 4 times a week, if not more, and via Facebook and everything else. So like we're very close and we're good mates, and we sort of talk about each other's recipes and what's going on in each other's lives. So he's a good boy. Never hits his mother. No, he's a good boy. He is a bit of a wanker. And don't get me started on that cooking with karma. What a bitch. I'm going to get smacked for that. Love you, Anna. I'm dead. Next question. Emu Unlim, maybe. I don't know. I think that's how it's pronounced. When is Coffee Time the movie? Oh God, who'd want a bloody movie of this shit? Oh God, it's bad not doing an hour-long thing of this. Imagine doing it for 2 hours. Christ almighty. Next question. Spring King 76. David, I'd love to come to a YouTube gathering and have a few beers with some of the cooking gang. What's the likelihood of something like that occurring? Are the dinners, etc., mainly for the channel creators, or can an unsuspecting home cook come and join the ranks? It depends on the gathering, to be honest. There is a major one happening in Brisbane in November this year, called BrisTube. We had the same thing a couple of years ago, and this is the latest one. I think it's November 24. I think that's pretty much, I'm sure that's the correct date. It's a Saturday. But there's usually, with these major YouTube gatherings, there's different events. So you've got like, the main gathering is during the day, and it's like an open age event. So it's not just sort of like the over 18s type thing. It's usually in a public place, which means everyone's welcome. Whether you make videos, whether you just watch videos, you just come along, meet people, say hello, bring your cameras. Very, very free and easy type thing. The nighttime things are generally the adults only type things. It's mainly because it's usually in a pub, there's drinking, things like that. So obviously under 18s, it's not appropriate for the young'uns. I can't honestly say that they're for everyone. Some of them are private functions, so they're invite only. Those that aren't, sometimes it's just for video creators, but I think it's generally just whoever turns up usually. But it's usually there's details about this before a gathering. They actually say it in videos and things like that, say which ones are open for all. But generally the actual daytime gatherings and stuff like that in a public place, they're for everyone. That's usually how it works, and it all depends on the specific gathering itself. So yeah, you should absolutely come along and come and meet me, and everyone else is there, because I'll be going to the Brisbane gathering in November at BrisTube. That'll be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that, actually. And I know for a fact that Nico will be going, so he'll be there, and Cooking with Karma will be there. So if they're still speaking to me, they will probably turn up and beat the hell out of me for the comments in the last question. So yeah, so come along and have a good time, because it's all very relaxed. Cheeky Monkey 6. If I were to come over to Oz for dinner at yours, what would be your go-to dishes to impress? 3 courses, obviously. I think we've already had this one, haven't we? Yeah, lemon cheesecake and lasagna, and I don't know. Probably make that cookies and cream cocktail, because holy crap, that was good. got my dad pissed, so you know that's good. That's good because at the time I was filming at his house because I was having the kitchen renovated and made those cookies and cream cocktails, and he sat there, downed one glass, and was like, "Yeah, that's not bad. I'll have another one." Bang! And I was like, "Oh God." Emily Babes 10. Hello, I'm from England. My question is, what do you like about England? Favourite English chocolate bars? I haven't been to England for a very long time. I think the last time I was over there was about 1991 or 1992. It was a very long time ago. Just after my grandmother died, I went over for the funeral. But we went back to her home village, which is in Somerset, and beautiful little village, so gorgeous. And I'd love to go back there because it was such a beautiful place to go. It was like right in the middle of the countryside, and you've got the little pub and the little church and all that sort of thing, and it's just gorgeous. And yeah, I love the sort of the diversity in England where literally people from 2 streets away have a different accent to you. So like it's very, very strange. I love that. As for English chocolate bars, I don't know a lot of English chocolate bars, to be honest. I think, well, I probably get a few of them here, like the sort of English chocolate bars, but anything that you guys have got. I do know that when we were over there, they had these things, I don't know if they still have them. They were called penguins. And it's very similar to what we call a Tim Tam, except it was sold individually, and it was big about that size. It was like 2 chocolate biscuits or cookies with a cream centre coated in chocolate, but it was huge. It was about that size. It was yum. That was a bit Hannibal Lecter, wasn't it? Vicky Schmidt. Just to be clear, not being critical, just curious. Oh, this would be interesting. Controversial. What are your views on organic food and the subject of food waste? Throwing out perfectly good food or not using leftovers? Controversial. Okay, rant time. Organic food. I'm about to commit massive suicide here. Organic food is without doubt the biggest con in the history of the universe. Is that people will pay enormous amounts of money for shitty looking food because it's supposedly organic, but it's no better for you. It doesn't have any more nutrients for you, and before anyone argues, they've done test after test after test. Choice Magazine in Australia, who is a consumer advocacy group, they're a private group, they have done so many tests on organic food. They've compared organic food to just normal produce and whatnot, and they've time and time again proven that there is no nutritional benefit to organic food, and you only have to look at it in the supermarket. If you look at a regular bag of carrots and then you look at an organic bag of carrots, one's like $1, the other's like $6, and the $6 organic crap looks like garbage. They're dull, they're small, they're malformed, they look like crap. I know which one I'd rather buy. As for food waste, I think that's disgraceful, people throwing out perfectly good food. I know a lot of it happens. I know when it comes to me and my leftovers, I tend to have what I call planned leftovers, where I will deliberately make a huge amount of stuff because I know I'm going to be freezing it into like portions for lunches or for other meals. I can do a bigger one for another meal, and then I've got meals ready for a time where I don't feel like cooking. A good example is when I'm making a huge thing of spaghetti bolognese or something like that. I'll make a big pot that size and we'll have dinner, and what's left I'll pack up into little individual portions for my partner to take to work for lunch. I'll also do larger portions which I can defrost and do for dinner on a night where I don't feel like cooking. And there's so many different things where I do stuff like that. And it's planned and nothing ever goes to waste because I've got a nice big freezer that I can store it all in. But deliberately throwing out perfectly good food, that's disgusting. And I would slap anyone who did that. Devil's food. End rant. Devil's food. People think I'm an amazing cook because I make great food. I'm not, though. The food I make always comes from recipes, which I always disclose. Give me a recipe to follow and I'll pull it off seamlessly, but give me a kitchen full of ingredients with no recipe and I'd be lost. And do you have any advice for someone who wants to be able to cook without recipes? I hate being so dependent on words to create meals. Okay, first things first. There are very few people who are able to commit to memory more than about 3 or 4 recipes. If you're lucky enough to be able to do that, then you are truly a scientific genius type genetic freak and you should be studied. I think that even the best cooks in the world have their own notebooks where they've written down recipes and so they can reference them, because unless you're making them literally on a daily basis, it's very difficult to commit all of that information to memory, especially things like measurements and stuff like that. I know I'm lousy at it. So I've got a few recipes that I've cooked so many times that I could do it blindfolded. I don't need the recipe, but unless it's something you can make on a regular basis, you often need to reference things. So don't feel bad about referencing recipes, because like that's what they're for. They're there to sort of give you a guide on how to make something. And while there is sort of a good thing to sort of dump you in a kitchen full of ingredients and just come up with something on the spot, that generally comes from experimenting. Like, not everything that you make is going to be absolutely fantastic, but like, you come up with an idea in your head and think, well, I wonder if that would go well together. You cook it and you see what happens. So don't feel too bad about using recipes, because God knows everyone does, I think, and don't always disclose that you use a recipe. Sort of feel free to say, oh, this is what a family secret recipe that I found on the back of a packet of Wheatie Flakes. Oh, I hope that makes you feel better. Duarte Nalves, I hope I've said that right. How much time does it take for you to make a cooking video, especially now you're doing 3 a week? And also, what do you do for fun on your free time? Okay, generally recording a video, depending on the complexity of the recipe, usually takes between 1 and 2 hours. Sometimes a little longer if there's waiting time or setting time and things like that. As for editing, I can usually knock a video over in about half an hour or so once I've transferred all the footage from the camera to the computer. But I'm filming about 3 or 4 days a week these days, because I always do more than I actually upload in a week, because I'm actually several weeks ahead when I record videos. So any video, like if I upload a video tomorrow, I probably recorded it about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's not I don't do them to order, because otherwise there's not enough time to get things done. It would drive me mental. So I like to be ahead of the schedule. As for what I do for fun on my free time, I don't have any free time. No free time for David, not anymore. Yeah, I don't have a lot of free time these days, but when I do, as I say, like I've said before, I love to have sort of movie nights. I love to just sort of relax, read. I love to go shopping. Can't afford to go shopping, but I like to go shopping. Go out for coffee. It's great. That's what I like to do. Okay. Matthew Connor Martin. Can I send you some recipes to make videos on? They include the most simplistic 1-hour bread recipe and a purely indulgent dessert that I call waffle berry pie. If you do, please let me know. As a fellow man of larger size, I know you'll love them. Yeah, feel free to send me recipes. As I've said before to many people, I love it when people send me requests and recipes and things like that. However, I can't guarantee that I'm going to make every single thing that people send me, because often people send me recipes and they include ingredients that are either unavailable or are difficult to use in Australia, especially if they come from overseas. I had someone send me a recipe, I think they were from somewhere in the Balkans in Europe. I wasn't sure where they were from, and they translated it over, but half the recipe ingredients, I had no idea what they were, and I was really sort of Googling this to try and figure out what it was, and I had to give up in the end, so I was like, I don't know. Very, very generous of them to send the recipe, but yeah, so feel free to send requests and recipes, but as I say, I can't guarantee that I'll actually make them as videos. It all just comes down to sort of what I'm doing at the time, because as I say, I've already got schedules and everything of what I'm making. That's what the whiteboard behind me is. It's my planner for what's coming up in the next month or so. So please don't feel hurt if I don't make recipes that you send, but I get a lot of them. People send me a lot of recipes, so I do my best. 3333 Jasmine. What is your favourite chocolate bar, and what is one meal you remember most from your childhood? Keep up the good work. Favourite chocolate bar? I must admit, I don't go for the actual chocolate bars much these days, but I tend to get blocks of chocolate and we'll just sit there and nibble them here and there over a few days. And I love my caramello, Cadbury's caramello, and there's a chocolate bubbly thing as well. It's like an aero type thing that's really nice as well. I like that. I'm sort of kind of boring these days. And who can't go past a Mars bar? Lovely. And what is one meal you remember most from your childhood? Goodness. I'm not sure. I do. It's not a good meal, but I do remember my mum went through a phase when I was a child where she was trying all these vegetarian recipes because she'd read a thing in a magazine about how red meat causes athletes' head and brain cancer and all these horrible bloody things, and she decided we were all going to go vegetarian. And I remember my mum made this grated zucchini tart, and it was gross. I mean, I don't mind zucchini, but this was foul, mainly because it was overcooked slightly, and so it was disgusting. It was. I still remember it to this day, that we were sitting there eating it, and even she was there going, wow, this is the most incredible shit. And I think all three of us were going like, please, can we just go and get some fish and chips or something? This is disgusting. I don't want to eat this. Please don't make me eat it. The Aussie Dingo. Best Doctor, Tennant or Tom Baker? No competition. Tom Baker. Good grief. It's like, you got to go over the scarf. Love the scarf. The Poto. Have you ever ridden a horse? I have never committed such a form of abuse to an animal. I don't think I could. So, yeah, I don't think there's any horse that has ever been born that could deal with my wide behind. So, not going to happen. Peachtree Cuisine. Do you drink energy drinks? I'm so bad by starting my day with a Red Bull and a Snickers. Good grief. That's one way to start the day. No, I'm not much of a fan for energy drinks. I've had Red Bull now and again, but I generally don't like the taste of it, and they seem to not have much effect on me. However, back in my drinking days when I used to go night clubbing, one of my drinks of choice was vodka and Red Bull, and it has a very bad effect on you, so I don't recommend it. It tastes nice initially, and then bang. It's not good. Are you right or left-handed? Right-handed, although that might look like left-handed on the screen when I think about it. But yeah, righty. Do you like Martin Scorsese films? Not really. He doesn't do a lot of films that I'm particularly interested in, so I'd have to say no. Bartholomew. We already know a little about your background and ancestry, but could you go into further detail? I'd be interested to know about where you hail from. That's the kind of question you want to ask my father, because he's been studying our family tree for the best part of a decade and has gone back to, I don't know, some protoplasmic globule 16 billion years ago that apparently we're related to. So he's got reams and reams of paperwork all about sort of birth records and census records and things like that, all related to our family tree. So it's, yeah, I honestly don't know a lot about it. Mainly, it's not really of any major interest to me because, frankly, sort of once you go beyond sort of grandparents and stuff like that, they're all people who died a century before you were alive. So, yeah, it's not really interesting to me. Yeah, so he'd be the one to ask, although obviously you're not going to be able to. But yeah, sort of, I don't know a whole lot about my ancestry. Panzer 28. If you were a character in Sleepy Hollow, who would you be? That is the most bizarre question. I have no idea. I suppose Ichabod Crane, because he's the only one who pops out at me at the moment. Or the Headless Horseman. No, I like having a head, even this horrible potato-shaped one. Deb276. I'm Malaysian and currently live in Oregon. Have you been to Malaysia or Oregon or the US perhaps? Do share if you have. Haven't been to either America, Oregon or Malaysia. Would love to travel to America at some point, but yeah, I've never been to either America or Malaysia. Oh, I'm going to kill these people with these wood-burning fires. Ugh, stink is terrible. Serious question from, oh God, 8465246162. Do you ever regret having OnePotChef as a username, and would you change it? I know it would be a problem for some people. They choose some random nickname when they join YouTube, but then they become successful and they're stuck with it. Probably the only thing I would change was I wouldn't have made it OnePotChef. I might have made it something else because I'm not actually a chef, but the thinking which I had at the time, and I still got it, but was that OnePotChef came from the idea that you've had these people on TV demonstrating cooking, and they would often call themselves TV chefs, despite the fact that they're not actually chefs. They've never worked in a commercial kitchen. They've never had that kind of training. But my thinking was, well, if they can call themselves a TV chef, surely I can be a chef on YouTube. So that's what it came from. But yeah, I don't know if I'd actually... I think I'm pretty okay with it. Like, One Pot Chef Show, especially for the cooking channel, sort of works pretty well, so it's not too bad. It's lucky it wasn't anything particularly bizarre, like Cute Bunny 76 or anything bizarre, like, because I don't know if that would apply to a cooking channel unless you're cooking a lot of cute bunnies. So, yeah. Mr. Cool Person Thing. What do you think about YouTube not advertising less well-known YouTubers such as under 5,000 subscribers, as the more well-known ones are getting advertised a lot, and a lot of popular users are going downhill recently? Are you noticing this? I think it's one of those things where they need to strike the right balance, because I always said that they should be, on the front page of YouTube, there should be a proper thing for new and different channels that are not these big channels like Shane Dawson and Nigga Higger and all these other huge channels, Ray William Johnson, those sort of 1 million plus subscribers, that it should be a thing showing off people who are on the lower end of the scale but are making good content, and it should be determined by a person, not an algorithm, but that will never happen. It used to back in the day, but not anymore, which is sad, and I really think that that should happen. Oh, another one from Mr. Cool Person Thing. Can you check out some of the recipes on the channel Sorted Food? They have some great recipes and post daily on their website. I've had a lot of people tell me about Sorted Food. I keep meaning to go and check it out, but I must admit, I'm so busy making cooking videos these days, I don't often have a lot of time to watch other people's cooking videos. I try to watch them now and again, but I must go and have a look at Sorted Food, because I keep getting told that they do a lot of interesting stuff. Did you do well in high school, and did you go to university? I didn't go to university. I never had any plans to go to university, mainly because I was already working during high school in retail, and I'd already decided that I wanted to make that my career, so I didn't see the need to go to university in order to work in shops. So I'd already decided that once I'd graduated high school, I would just go straight into full-time employment, which is what I ended up doing. As for my high school grades, I can't say I did terribly well in high school, but it wasn't because I'm stupid or anything like that. It was mainly because I just wasn't that interested. Like, towards the end, graduating high school wasn't terribly important for me, because I was looking, I'd already had heaps of job offers to go straight into full-time employment, and I just didn't want to drop out of school and start. What I was looking to do was to finish school. I wanted to, at the very least, graduate high school. I wanted to do that, and that's what I did. Obviously, that was working for me. It doesn't work for everyone, and I do recommend, sort of like, if you're looking to do something a bit more than working in shops and retail management and stuff like that, then yes, you probably should go work very hard in high school, go to university, do as much training as you can, because the more training you get, the more employable you are. So yeah, in my case, it wasn't really an issue, and frankly, I don't even do that anymore, because like, I work from home now making cooking videos, and frankly there's no university course to teach you that, so it works for me. But I sort of landed on my feet on that one. I was recently, this is from 4ML. I was recently in Vietnam and I ate a snake stir-fry. What is the weirdest animal you've ever eaten? I don't eat a lot of weird animals, to be honest. I think the weirdest one was probably emu. I remember trying emu on a school trip. They did a bush tucker food thing with got to try a bit of kangaroo and a bit of emu and stuff like that. And I know Americans are horrified at that because they think of kangaroos as these cute little things that they have in zoos, but there are literally millions of the bloody things running around this country. They're like a plague, so it's not unusual for Australians to actually eat kangaroo. They're quite commonly available in the supermarket in the meat section next to sort of beef and chicken and pork, and we've got kangaroo. So emu not so much these days, but yeah, so I'm sure I'll freaked a few people out with that one, but there you go. I don't know if this is the bunny or the buny, one of the two. David, why do you think you're rubbish at bread? I've seen both your cinnamon rolls and hot cross buns videos and you rock. When I say I'm rubbish at bread, I mean I'm rubbish at making loaves of bread. I've never been able to make a loaf of bread that was actually half decent. So there's stuff like cinnamon rolls and hot cross buns, the little things like that, I don't seem to have a lot of trouble with, but when it comes to doing a full-sized proper loaf of bread, pants. Do you know, Cool asks, do you know what is panerai without Googling it? I have no idea what panerai or panerai is. I don't know. But I'm going to Google it right now. Because I'm cheating. What is it? Panerai. Panerai. I'm getting pictures of watches. So I'm assuming it's a watch. Yeah, luxury watches. There you go. Now I don't know, but I'm hoping that's right. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, would you shut up with a bloody surround sound? Jesus! That's all I can bloody hear is him playing with his new surround sound music. Hang on a second. Next question comes, Peachtree Cuisine again. One of the craziest food trends in America right now is chocolate-dipped bacon and donut hamburgers. Would you ever try it? I personally think it sounds disgusting. Oh, me too. Donut hamburgers. Yuck. Chocolate-dipped bacon. That just sounds weird. Firefighter Panton. Have you ever seen Epic Mealtime? If you have, do you like the food on it? Yes, I've seen them. I used to watch them initially. Got bored with it recently after a while because it was basically just... It looks like a waste of food. It really does, and I don't think it's proper cooking. Like it's an entertainment thing, but it's not actually cooking. So, yeah, not that fussed. I like Cookie 88. Do you ever eat at fast food places much? I just finished my first day at McDonald's so I can save up for college, and it's disgusting. I'm refusing to let anyone I know to eat there ever again. I'll be honest, I'm guilty of going to McDonald's now and again, not very often, but if you're hungry at 3 o'clock in the morning and don't really feel like cooking much, you've pretty much got limited options, so the 24-hour McDonald's around the corner is pretty much the only thing open, but I do try to go for something reasonably healthy on the menu if I can, but occasionally you just want something greasy and gross, and that's kind of what I like, so... Popular Vote 101. Have you found true happiness yet? If not, what is keeping you from it? Forever a humble fan. I think I'm probably as happy as I'm likely to get. That's pretty much where I am, because, like, I've got a roof over my head, I've got food in my belly, I've got somebody to love, I've got people who love me, I've got a business, so I think I'm pretty much where I need to be, so I'm happy with that. Higher sweets. Do you eat everything you cook? Are you open to the idea of being dipped in chocolate? I think we'll deal with the first question first. I eat everything I cook. I don't eat all of everything that I cook. I actually made some sausage rolls the other day, and I got, out of a batch of 24 sausage rolls, I got 2, and the rest were eaten by certain people who shall remain nameless. So they all disappeared. Yeah, but mostly whatever I cook for the videos, if it doesn't get eaten for dinner or whatever, it gets frozen and we eat it whenever we need it. So, yeah. As for being dipped in chocolate, I don't think I need to be. I'm already sweet enough. Psychedelic 64. Is your theme song from Summer Heights High? Because it bloody well sounds like it. I get a lot of people saying this. I must admit, I've never seen Summer Heights High. So I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure it probably isn't, because It's just a bit of royalty-free music that I got from Kevin MacLeod's website, so I doubt it would be something from a TV show, so it's probably not. Smart Boy 11 Full. Hey, One Pot Chef, can you show me how to make dumplings? What kind of dumplings? There are billions of kind of dumplings. Sweet dumplings, boiled dumplings, steamed dumplings, Asian dumplings. Which kind? Let's see. Do you like the new YouTube layout or the old one from ITTV2? I like bits of some of it and bits of others of the new layout. I hate the new YouTube front page. It's a nightmare. It's so badly designed, and that stupid highlights thing should be put into a rocket and shot into the sun. It's crap. That being said, when it comes to the channel layout, I don't mind the new one so much. That being said, sort of like things change on YouTube, so you kind of have to just roll with it or go somewhere else because things have changed. That's the nature of things. M. Ponga? I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Why does your camera move when doing the One Pot Chef show? Because it's got a fault, and it's no longer an issue because I just bought myself a new video camera, so in a few weeks' time that will no longer be an issue because I'll be starting releasing videos that I'm recording with the new camera. So there's a fault with the old one, which it's to do with face tracking and stuff. It doesn't matter if you switch it off or not, it still does it, and it does it more than it should. So I tried to get it repaired, and in the end I just got the shits with it, and I was like, sod it, I'll just go and buy a new camera. So that's what I did. And I've tested out the new camera, and it doesn't do it, so yay! Unreated Brouhaha? Have you tried durian, and what is the weirdest kitchen equipment you have seen? I have tried durian, and it is the most vile fruit in history. It tastes and smells like rancid dead people's feet. Yuck. I think it's one of those things that you have to have grown up on it to enjoy it, because Christ knows I don't know how you could enjoy it if you didn't. It's foul. It's yucky. As for the weirdest kitchen equipment you've ever seen, I'm constantly seeing weird kitchen things like hot dog makers and things like that at the always cheap, junky sort of kitchen equipment that no one ever uses. Like, why would you need a hot dog maker? Like, you heat the hot dogs up and then you put them on a bun. Where's the machine come into that? So, who knows? Grashoni1. I think I pronounced that differently earlier. I posted a comment earlier, but what the heck, here's another one. Do you ever watch the Japanese version of Iron Chef? If so, what did you think of it? I love the corny voiceovers and the chairman's bizarre outfits. The food too. I used to love watching Iron Chef. I loved the voiceovers because they were always bizarre. Like, especially one of the judges, the actress woman, and she'd sort of taste it and she'd go, it tastes like happy. And it's like, what? So yeah, and it was always some bizarre, horrible ingredient like, I don't know, the guts of a sea anemone or something utterly ridiculous, and it would be put into like ice cream or bloody crumble or something. It was always yuck, but it was fun to watch. What else have we got? Up to nearly the last question here. Emmy Galen. What does Australia have its own version of redneck, and do you get along with these types? If you mean like the American rednecks, I don't think we have anything like rednecks in Australia. Not really. I don't think there's any particular equivalent. Not that I can think of. But I'd like to think that I get along with most people, so whether we have them or not, so I don't know. Zazara15. Last question. Yay for Singapore. Hope that you come to see our sunny and crazy hot country soon. Anywho, I was wondering how much a litre or 500 mils of heavy cream costs in Singapore dollars. Over here it's really expensive. Thanks for all the awesome recipes shared. I don't know how much it would be in Singapore dollars, but I can tell you in Australian dollars and you can work it out for yourself. But we generally get heavy cream in like a 600 ml plastic bottle tub type thing. And it's usually about $2 or $3 Australian. So roughly, depending on the brand. And then you get sort of the fancier creams that are much more expensive. It can be $4, $5, $6 for a container. So it just depends on how much you're looking to get and what kind of cream you're getting. But it's usually around about the $2 or $3 mark for just your standard heavy cream. So yeah, I hope that helps. Well, that brings us to the end of Coffee Time 12. So thank you very much for watching. And if you got this far, well, I pity you. No, had a lot of fun. So yeah, get your questions in for next month's Coffee Time. Leave them in the comment section below on YouTube. Lots of love to you all. Mwah. Keep out of trouble, and I shall talk to you later.